In the heart of Silicon Valley, a small tech startup named Innovatech was making waves with its groundbreaking app designed to enhance user privacy online. The app gained traction quickly, attracting a loyal user base and catching the attention of larger tech giants. Among them was Meta, the parent company of Facebook, which had recently faced scrutiny for its aggressive acquisition strategies. Meta saw Innovatech not just as a potential partner, but as a threat to its data-driven business model, which thrived on user information. Meta approached Innovatech with a proposal that sounded like a dream, a lucrative partnership that promised resources, mentorship, and access to a broader market. The founders of Innovatech, excited by the prospect of scaling their operations and reaching millions, were initially captivated. However, as they delved deeper, they began to sense an underlying agenda. The more they pondered, the more they realized that accepting Meta's offer might mean sacrificing their vision and autonomy. They ultimately decided against the acquisition, determined to maintain their integrity and commitment to user privacy. Feeling threatened, Meta shifted its strategy from acquisition to aggression. The company slashed prices on its competing app, flooding the market with a version that offered similar features, but at a fraction of the cost. This tactic, known as predatory pricing, aimed to undercut Innovatech's appeal and lure away its user base. As Innovatech struggled to compete, Meta employed further tactics to bury the competition. They secured exclusive contracts with major app distributors, effectively locking Innovatech out of critical distribution channels. The fallout was swift and brutal. Innovatech's user growth stagnated, and its financial resources dwindled as it fought to stay afloat against the relentless onslaught of Meta's marketing machine. Meanwhile, Meta continued to promote its app, touting its privacy features while quietly collecting user data in the background. The irony was palpable. A company that had once been a beacon of privacy innovation was now employing the very tactics it had promised to challenge. This scenario echoed the practices of other industry giants. Google, for instance, had been known to acquire promising startups only to shelve their innovations. The pharmaceutical industry, too, engaged in similar behavior, buying smaller biotech firms with groundbreaking drugs, then stalling their development to protect existing products in their portfolio. These strategies, while legal, raised ethical questions about the true spirit of competition and innovation. As the situation escalated, regulatory bodies began to take notice. The Federal Trade Commission, FTC in the United States, and the European Commission in Europe ramped up scrutiny of such practices, recognizing the detrimental impact they had on market competition and consumer choice. Investigations were launched, and discussions about antitrust reforms heated up. The potential for new regulations loomed large, signaling a shift in how these practices would be policed in the future. The implications of the buy-or-bury strategy were profound. It stifled innovation by creating an environment where smaller companies felt pressured to either sell out or risk being crushed under the weight of their larger competitors. Consumers bore the brunt of this battle, facing fewer choices, higher prices, and a stagnation of new ideas that could have transformed their experiences. The vibrant ecosystem of startups that once thrived on creativity and competition was increasingly overshadowed by a few dominant players, each more focused on eliminating threats than fostering innovation. As Innovatech fought to survive, the founders reflected on their journey. They realized that their refusal to be acquired was not just a business decision. It was a stand against a system that prioritized power over progress. They began rallying support from users and other small businesses, igniting a movement advocating for fair competition and transparency in the tech industry. In doing so, they hoped to inspire a new wave of innovation, one that would challenge the status quo and reclaim the future of technology for the many, not just the few.